Hello, all, and welcome to Carnage Candy. I'm Sean, and this is Grayson.
Hello, all.
We're very excited about Wolfman coming out.
Oh, yeah, we
here
are.
in January. So we've watched a couple of werewolf films, rewatched a couple, and revisited some classics for this huge celebration coming up. And we got to start out with the beloved classic. Pretty much everybody agrees that this is the greatest werewolf movie ever made.
Greatest performance as a wolf ever, you know? Not a werewolf, just a wolf.
It's a howling of a good time.
It really is. You could say an American does turn into a werewolf, but not in London.
It is Jack Nicholson's beloved classic, Wolf, from 1994.
Yep. Around the time that they were remaking all the Universal classics, they're like, hey, let's try the Wolfman with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, so that is a very interesting thing. We had the Dracula 92,
Yep.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein followed up, that Jekyll Hyde movie, and then
This,
a contemporary retelling
Yeah.
of the Wolfman. So Jack Nicholson, I watched this as a kid.
so did I. I was obsessed with it as a child. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a weird one to like, especially for like a, let's see, I would have been 6 or 7.
Yep.
But I used to fast forward till the end because I thought the final wolf confrontation was one of the most badass fights ever.
For 94, it's pretty cool. I mean, I'll give it to him for wolf action. It's pretty sick.
So while I was doing my rewatch, I was very much looking forward to this crescendo moment where I would get to like revisit this big, huge, what I thought was a 15 minutes, like Hector versus Troy, or Hector versus Achilles quality fight
It was almost there.
between two wolf guys. But let's run through it. So Jack Nicholson is editor-in-chief.
Can I give you the Amazon synopsis?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's already off of Prime. That's where Sean and I watched it.
Yeah.
But whenever I clicked on it, this is what it tells you the movie's about.
Okay.
A midlife Manhattan editor, Jack Nicholson, turns into a werewolf. The end. That's all you get. There's nothing else. That's it. That's all Prime wants you to know, and you're done. And you click on the trailer, and you only get the scene with him and his doctor. That's all you get.
Oh, it's the scene where he's like, "Hi, Doc."
What happened to the kid? Did you not hear me? He died. Oh.
God. So, as a kid, it's so funny because rewatching it, it was like, I understand why I would fast forward to the end because it is such a...
There's a lot of dialogue in it.
Yeah, it's... So, Jack Nicholson is an editor-in-chief, and he's about to be put out of a job, kind of usurped by his protege.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because Jack Nicholson plays a very beloved character, too. Everybody that works for him feels for him. They're like, you're probably going to get cut, but if you go, I go with you.
Yeah, his assistant, and then kind of homeboy from... That's the guy from Frasier,
Frasier,
right?
it's his brother.
Okay, yeah.
Frasier's brother, yeah. Roy, I think his name is. Yep.
And he is very dedicated, and like you said, he has his protege,
Yeah.
a pre-secretary, James Spader.
Yep.
He is so hot.
And you know as soon as you see him, you're like, oh, he's the villain. Oh, he's the villain.
James Spader's bad guy. And it's funny because I didn't read the casting or anything going back to watch it, so I was like, oh, because I always think of Robert California.
Yeah, with Spader.
Or because of Cronenberg's Crash and because of Secretary, I just think a sexual tank,
I
basically.
completely get it. I think of Boston Legal because my mom watched a lot of Boston Legal, so I always saw him on the screen.
Just he has such commanding presence. I don't know why James Spader is like that. It's almost like every character he plays does not give a shit what the world thinks about him.
It's a good reason why they picked up for Ultron.
Yeah, for sure, right? But James Spader has usurped Jack Nicholson and taken his job. But all this is happening on the eve that Jack Nicholson has driven through Connecticut or Vermont, I believe, for a business trip, and the wolf scene where he gets attacked is so tame and normal. He hits a wolf with his car.
Yeah.
and then he gets bit by a random wolf in the woods.
The wolf that happens to peek his eye open for a split second just so he can set up the bite. Because that's one of my favorite parts is the wolf's like, oh, you hit me. I'm going to get you in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Because he waits for him to come up to him.
The wolf is like...
Yeah, he peeks at him. So Jack Nicholson goes up to check on him, and then the wolf bites his arm, and then he sees that there's a ton of them out in the woods with him, too.
Yeah. But I found it very strange that it's like he didn't find a strange creature or just a regular wolf bite got him.
No horrible attack. Nobody died around him. Just a quick bite. He gets in his car, drives off, and notices that his wound is growing hair.
Yeah, it's just a hairy wound. It's like Grandpa's wound from Talladega Nights. Yeah. His smelly wound.
Yeah, smelly wound.
I was really hoping for a body horror scene before that I wouldn't have appreciated as a kid.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that like his arm would start to rot or something crazy would happen. But overall, it's like a real letdown, like wound-wise, all the way to his transformation. He really is a wolf man, right? He's not a werewolf. He's a wolf man.
I kind of enjoy that about this film. It's kind of refreshing to see just him slowly transforming because they're trying to show that he's going to turn into the wolf. Instead of like full-on huge werewolf, I'm completely transformed. It is a lot like the original Wolf Man.
Yeah.
So
it's like a metamorphosis. So he gets like, they did a really good job early on because they wet Jack Nicholson's hair.
Yes.
And they slick it down to where it looks like he's balding.
Yeah, he's thinning hair up top.
Yeah, and then as soon as he gets bitten by the wolf, his hair becomes more voluminous.
Yes.
And they de-age him a little bit with makeup to make it look like, he's given a new young animal life, right?
Which is cool with Jack Nicholson. He has such an interesting looking face that he can pull it off really well.
He already looks kind of like a wolf man before he even starts to transform.
Which is awesome because whenever he gets the makeup on his face, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I love the way his early transformation wolf looks whenever he's running through the woods after the deer.
Gets the mutton chops and all that. But yeah, so after he gets bitten by the wolf, we kind of find out a lot that like he does not satisfy his wife very much, probably because of work and all that. And it turns out not only has James Spader infiltrated to take his job, James Spader is also having sex with his wife.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Jack is just, poor guy, right? It's just like...
It's one thing after another with this guy. Finding out he's about to have to go overseas to do his job. They're about to send him, I think, to Europe. And then he finds out his wife's cheating on him. And
he really is just a victim of his own success. Like, it's just like... I kept waiting for him to have done something corrupt or like bad, but he really is just like he's aged out of his field. Aged out, according to the merger.
The movie and everything.
Yeah, so like it really is just like, man, he lost his job, lost his wife, lost who he thought he was his best friend. And he finds solace in his boss's daughter. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes.
She was she was like 35 when she filmed this. A lot of times whenever I'm looking at old movies, I'm just like, especially because I was a kid when I was watching them, I like saw Michelle Pfeiffer, and it's kind of like John McClane in Die Hard. When you go back and watch Die Hard, Bruce Willis was 36.
Yeah.
When he was our age when he made Die Hard. When I look at Bruce Willis in Die Hard, I'm like, oh, he's 50.
In Die Hard 1?
No, I just assume that he's...
Oh, as a kid, he's an adult.
Yeah.
50.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember whenever I realized Jennifer Lawrence was our age.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's like, oh, she's famous and like an actress and she's in movies. She has to be older than me by proxy. But I was like, man, Michelle Pfeiffer is so young and she is much younger than Jack Nicholson. And they immediately hit it off. She's a rebel, a smoker, Grayson.
But it's because there's a pity towards Jack Nicholson as well as there is an attraction because of what he's doing to her father.
Yeah.
Like he's standing his ground to his father. But the first time they see each other, he's having, the early, symptoms of the wolf, and she thinks he's having a panic attack.
Yeah.
So she's just kind of feels bad for him.
You get hot.
Yeah.
So there's like that nurturing, but also a little bit of like, oh, you hate my dad too?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just thought there was like absolutely no chemistry.
It's funny. I didn't feel the chemistry, but I thought that they were both great characters, if that makes sense. I like how they both play their characters, but I didn't see them as a couple. I thought that they were both really unique characters. Like, I liked the way that it was going, but every time I saw them interacting with each other, I didn't see a relationship at all.
Yeah. I mean, she's cool. She's any rich girl with a leather jacket and a cigarette in her hand is awesome. It's like you think they wardrobed her so well. She's like semi-rich alternative. She's got her blue. She wears her blue jeans like anybody else. Yeah. Right. And they kind of hit it off, and it's really cool. I think the best parts are that the wolf. Obviously, the wolf gives him like sexual powers.
Yes. And
Michelle Pfeiffer might also be attracted to his demeanor.
Yeah.
Because once he, at the beginning, he's like, oh, it sucks, I'm losing my job.
Yeah.
But then as he gets his wolf powers, so to speak, he can hear things, right? And he hears
smell things too.
Hell yeah.
Because he walks up to a guy that works there and tells him, it's 9 a.m. Why are you drinking tequila?
Exactly. And then he uses these ear powers to infer things around the office to further his station, right? So I thought that was that's the kind of stuff that it's like when I'm a kid, I don't care about.
Yeah.
But as an adult,
it's really cool.
It's really cool.
Yes, I agree.
So he kind of uses this stuff to manipulate James Spader and his boss and extort them for his job back.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
The way he pulls it off, he talks to his boss the whole time, but he tells him whenever he's trying to get his job back, don't let James Spader's character know. I want to tell him myself.
Yeah.
So the whole time you're waiting for this buildup for him to finally tell him, and then it happens. And it's one of the greatest scenes in the whole movie.
What happens, Grayson?
They go into the bathroom, which is already perfect. So Jack Nicholson walks in, he sees James Spader there. It basically tells him, hey, I'm taking your job. Get out of here.
Do it like Jack Nicholson says it, though.
Hey, I'm taking your job. I need you to get out.
Oh, no,
and then Jack Nicholson goes to use the restroom, and Jay Spader tells him, like, you'll never get away with this. And Jack Nicholson just turns over mid-pee and just pees all over his feet. Stone cold killer face. And Jay Spader character goes, what are you doing? I'm marking my territory. He just pees on his shoes and then watches him as he wipes it off of his shoes. And Jay Spader's like, these are suede shoes.
That's the best part because they're both just like, like you just peed on me. And I'm like, and Jack Nicholson's just like,
what's up? What are you going to do about it?
So
I just peed on you. What are you going to do about it? It's one of the greatest scenes of the movie. It's so good. I can't believe they didn't break during that scene because it's so ridiculous.
It'd be fun to watch the behind the scenes. I feel bad for the janitor because there's clearly toilet real estate that got hit with the stream as he turned because he's like.
I really want to give a shout out to the special effects to making that pee look as yellow as they possibly could, too. It was like neon yellow when it came out,
It was cookie icing yellow urine. Like, werewolves need to hydrate.
Yeah, for sure.
Men need to hydrate. But yeah, so this kind of turn happens. And so the third act is kind of like, what is happening here?
I think the third act begins right after the incident with the people that are trying to mug him, right? The $1,000 in my pocket. I think that's what kicks off the third act.
Yeah, because he kind of turns on the people in the city, right? And he starts behaving. He's killed a deer.
Yes.
Does he kill anybody between them?
No, the only people he kills are the muggers, because right after the bathroom scene is whenever he reaches into his pocket and then he finds the finger.
That's right, because he kind of exerts some self-control. Typically, with the Wolfman story, at least and later, it's the terror is realizing you've harmed innocent people.
Yes.
Right. I think that's why the new Wolfman looks so great, because it's isolated with the family.
Yep.
Right. But there is like he's like a morally clean.
They do make a reference, if you are a good person and bitten by a wolf, you won't necessarily do evil things. But if you are evil, you will.
That's right.
Which is what turns into the next part, because you find out that Jack Nicholson's ex-wife, well, soon to be ex-wife, is dead.
Yep.
They found her in the park. Her throat was ripped out. And Jack Nicholson's character believes that he did it.
Because he has all the reasons.
Yeah, 100% he does. He understands that he is turning into something else. But the night that happened, he was with Michelle Pfeiffer's character.
Yep.
And she informed him, you didn't go anywhere, you were with me the whole time.
Yep. And then we get this investigator who's the dad from
Step Brothers. Yeah, he is.
Oh, man.
Shows up with only 20 minutes left of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the detective who's investigating the wife's murder shows up, and Michelle's like, he was with me, and the detective's like, all right.
No, he tries to dig further, and she tells him, you need a lawyer for that.
Yeah.
She shuts him down so quick.
Yeah. She uses her wealthy knowledge.
Yeah, she sure does.
She knows everything there is to know about law enforcement. And so he kind of buggers off. And we get this scene where Jack is becoming more and more afraid of his relationship with Michelle Pfeiffer, because he doesn't want to hurt her or anything like that. This kind of third act turn where we understand who killed his wife, to me, is so funny because of how it's like the most obvious contact lenses in the world.
It is. Earlier in the film, he bites James Spader on the hand, and then about 30 minutes later, he talks to a doctor that tells him the virus is transferred through bites.
Yes.
So it's all just kind of, here you go.
So Michelle has gone to the police station and to talk to the cops, and James Spader shows up with the yellowest contact lenses you've ever seen. If you came into work with those contact lenses and your eyes look like that, as I exist right now, I'd be like, Grayson, are you a werewolf? If you walked in with eyes like that, I would say, Grayson, are you a cat person or are you a werewolf? And then I would ask you to leave.
Of course. I get that.
And James Spader is just like, hello.
I'm ready to talk to you about Jack Nicholson. He peed on my shoes.
Yeah. It was weird. And so Michelle Pfeiffer's like, okay. And
she's a wolf.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer goes, he's the murderer. He killed Jack Nicholson's wife. I'm getting out of here. And she goes back and she's ready to get Jack Nicholson out of the country.
Yep.
She's chartered a plane and they're going to escape and do their thing. And she gets to the stables of it all goes back to the stables kind of outside of her guest house where she lives with her rich father. And we get a full-blown confrontation between James Spader has gone full wolf.
An all-out wolf battle.
a full moon of fisticuffs.
There you go.
And James Spader, it literally just, he looks, they were like, okay, he needs to look like he's at a Motorhead concert.
Yeah, I was laughing pretty hard whenever he first shows up and the security guards are trying to stop him. Nobody ever calls out that he looks like a wolf, and he's in full-on wolf mode.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, you need to get out of here. Nobody tries to draw down on him or anything.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, he's just got mutton chops. He's fine.
Just a beard.
And then they all get ripped up.
Oh, shout out to David Schwimmer.
For a 2-second scene in the zoo.
Yeah.
As one of the cops.
As a New York NYPD.
Yep.
And so, as a kid, I thought they were fighting in a zoo because I would fast.
I did too.
I would fast forward to the end.
Yeah, me too. I remember telling you before we watched it, I couldn't wait to see the ending with the zoo. And it's just a horse stable.
Yeah, they're fighting in the horse stable. And again, this is as a little kid, you don't understand what's happening here. But James Spader's mission is literally just to essay Michelle Pfeiffer's character. And he is trying to rip her clothes off and do his business. And Jack Nicholson is like,
not up in here.
yeah. So Jack Nicholson had asked Michelle Pfeiffer to pin him in the horse cages. And he's prying the bar. He's like, and this wolf showdown is about 6 shots of slow-mo.
But it has sick music.
It does have sick music. But it is just 2 men going,
It's Jack Nicholson and James Spader, though. What are you going to do?
I know, but I just built it up so much in my head because I had such great memories of just.
Oh, you thought they were Jean-Claude Van Damme fighting?
I did think. I thought it was like.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it's just 2 guys going. And then their weird wolf gallop thing, and
there are some pretty cool like throws. Whenever he throws James Spader on the ground and walks away, it's pretty much a FU moment I want.
Yeah, he should have peed on him again, though.
Oh, I've been sick.
But they bust out of the stables, and then, like, you got this Michelle Pfeiffer just pulls piece from the security guard.
It shoots it 6 times in slow motion.
Yeah, James.
As he's coming in with the scissors.
Yeah, James Spader has grabbed garden shears, and he's leaping at Michelle Pfeiffer, and she's like, and it's that old school Smith & Wesson.
Yeah. And it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 as he's falling in.
Yeah, he just eats the ground.
It's kind of cool that it wasn't silver bullets or anything like that. It was just shoot him.
Yeah, definitely a more realistic take, top to bottom. And then, like, Jack Nicholson's like, I gotta get out of here. And then he runs into the woods.
Gone. Wolf mode.
But not before getting a animatronic wolf howl to end all animatronic wolf howls. Did you love that last scene? What did you think when you saw that last Jumanji wolf?
It was fine. I was at that point. I was already in.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I was already in.
So it was like barely good, right? Did you like it that much?
I really did. And that's what's so crazy. I love the fact that this is about Jack Nicholson's character finally getting basically his groove back, if you really want to think about it. But then the other plot line is who gets Jack Nicholson's job.
Yeah.
And that's what the whole thing between him and James Spader is who's going to get to keep their
it's
job.
his assistant from Frasier.
I did too. That's who it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, it is now because
they're all gone.
Yeah, they're all gone.
But like I can appreciate that it's really like a workplace drama.
Yeah.
This guy that has Wolfman. It's like Jim Carrey's Yes Man. Was him being a werewolf.
It has so many quotable lines in the movie. There's some cool stuff. Jack Nicholson I feel like he's really putting everything he can into the film.
I don't feel like Jack Nicholson's phoning it in.
I don't either.
And he could have.
I don't think anybody in this film is phoning it in. And that's what I love about it. It definitely feels like a 94 movie for sure.
It's the fact that the actors in it and the director, Mike Nichols, who has a very prestigious career. The Birdcage, Graduate, Closer is a great erotic thriller. Primary Colors with John Travolta. That was a really good movie too. But I feel like since everybody took this movie so seriously and the effects have aged the way they have, its cheesiness makes it an enduring cheesiness rather than it's crappy cheesiness.
I would totally watch this film again.
Oh, yeah.
I had a blast with it. I could understand why I liked it as a kid because I was obsessed with the original Wolfman just because
the black and white original. Okay.
I just thought it was so neat to watch somebody transform, and this one feels like the Wolfman to me, only in the 90s.
Yeah. And Rick Baker did
He
makeup
sure did.
effects.
Same person who helped with American Werewolf in London and started helping working on Howling.
He must have felt so much restraint making this. I wonder how.
It was probably refreshing for him just to put together just the stuff on Nicholson and
facial prosthetics.
Spader.
And the writers here have Jim Harrison and Wesley Struck. Harrison wrote Revenge with Kevin Costner, which is one of the worst scripts ever written, I will tell you right now. And Legends of the Fall. And the other writer, Wesley Strick right here, he wrote Doom.
He did the screenplay for Doom.
Carnival Row.
He produced those.
Oh, yeah. He's got good producer credits as well. But yeah, Glass House.
He did the screenplay for a Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Oh, man.
Woof.
Yep, and the Glass House, that movie is hilarious. But The Saint is
Saint's pretty cool.
That is a spectacular screenplay. And Cape Fear.
And Arachnophobia?
Okay, so this guy's not bad.
He had a pretty good 80s and 90s.
Yeah, he had a good 80s and 90s run. But yeah, I think Wolfman is
Or Wolf.
Yeah, excuse me, Wolf. I think Wolf is definitely a watch it with your person kind of movie.
Yeah. I give it a 4 out of 5.
What?
Oh yeah, baby. I'm telling you right now, I was watching this film and there wasn't a moment that I checked out. The whole time I was watching it, I had a blast from start to finish. And if I can do that, I gotta at least give it a 4 out of 5.
What?
I would watch this. I might watch this every year, like from here on out. I love this film. I have so much fun with it. I appreciate the cheesiness of it. I love the plot of the movie, and I love how much fun they had with it. I love it.
I will give Wolfman a 2.5.
Wow!
I'll give it a 2.5.
With Big Nicholson?
I will watch Wolfman again. It won't be
Wolf.
for a while. Yeah.
For the title alone, it deserves a 3. Wolf.
I keep calling it Wolfman.
I know you do.
Yeah, I will watch.
Their eyes are yellow, Sean.
I'll give it a 2.6.
2.6. Oh my goodness.
All right. We do have other stuff for you to watch here on the channel, including Grayson's top 10 my top 10 horror films of 2024. So go check those out right here and make sure to subscribe to the channel.
One of these hands will hit it.
And then I click this and we're gone.